all about? What is IELTS writing all about? IELTS writing. What is IELTS writing all about? Okay, so during IELTS writing, you'll be expected to do two things, two tasks. Two things will be done. Number one, you will write an essay. And number two, you write a report or a letter. Okay? So if you are taking IELTS academic, you are going to write a report. That is the second thing that you will do. If you are taking IELTS general or IELTS UKVI general, you are going to write a letter. If you are taking IELTS academic, you write a report. Whether it's IELTS academic or IELTS UKVI academic, you write a report. If you are taking IELTS general or IELTS UKVI general, you write a letter. That is the second. So whether you are taking IELTS academic or general, you should expect to see an essay question. You are going to be required to write an essay. Okay. Now, the minimum requirement, the minimum length of your essay is 250 words. Your essay should not be less than 250 words. And your report or your letter should not be less than 150 words. Okay? Those two things are extremely important. If you write less than 250 words, your score will not exceed 6.0. Just settle that. Okay? If you write less than 250 words, your score will not exceed 6.0. If you write less than 150 words, your score will be low. But you see, that essay is extremely important. You must not write less than 250 words. Okay? Now, the essay accounts for 67% of your total writing score. Okay, 67%. Whereas the letter or the report accounts for 23% of your total writing score. That's it. So you can see that the essay takes more marks. So you need to make sure that your essay is as qualitative as possible. Okay? And what I'm going to be focusing on in this lesson is how to write qualitative essays. I'm going to show you the step-by-step process for writing a top quality essay. And if you follow these steps, I guarantee you that what? You will be able to get a good score, a score that is not less than band 7.0 in your writing. Okay? So essays, that's number one thing that you need to master. Number two thing is what? Letters or reports. If you are doing IELTS general, focus on letters. If you are doing IELTS academic, focus on reports. Now, like I said, my focus in this lesson is writing good essays, how to write good essays. Now, before I go into the issues surrounding writing good essays, let me tell you this, that your essay and your letter and your report will be assessed using certain criteria. Okay, so let's go through the criteria quickly. What are the criteria that will be used to assess our essay? There are 4 criteria that will be used to assess your essay. 4 criteria. Okay, number one is what we call task response. Okay, task response. Task response. Number 2 is called cohesion. Number 3 is called grammar. And number 4 is called vocabulary. I'm just going to give you three important things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to these 4 criteria for you to get a good score. So this task response, they're going to score you. Is either you get band 1, your score will range from band 1 to band 9 when it comes to task response. The same thing with cohesion. Your score will range from band 1 to band 9. The same thing with grammar. Your score will range from band 1 to band 9. And then for vocabulary, your score will range from band 1 to band 9. Okay? So for you to get a good band score in writing, you need to make sure that you get a good band score in all these 4 criteria. Okay? Now, I'll give you, there are many things that you need to do, but let me just emphasize 3 important things three important things when it comes to each of these criteria. For task response, number one is what? 250 words or more. Remember, I talked about that earlier on. For you to get a high band score when it comes to task response, you must write nothing less than 250 words. That's number one. Number two, write a good introduction. That's number two. Okay, a good introduction and a good conclusion. That's number two. Okay, and number three, ensure that you address the issue raised in the essay question. Don't write about something else. Make sure you address the issue that they asked you to address. Okay, those three things are extremely important. If you do these three things, your task response score will not be less than 7.0. Okay, your task response score will not be less than 7.0. If you do these three things and your task response score is less than 7.0, it's most likely going to be because of very poor grammar. Very, very poor grammar. Okay, that's the only thing that can make your task response score to fall lower than 7.0 if you do these three things. Okay, so three important things. What's number one? 250 words or more. What's number two? Good introduction and good conclusion. And what's number three? Address the issue raised in the essay question. Okay, now when it comes to cohesion, what are the three important things? Number one, demonstrate clear paragraphing. Okay, that's number one. Number two is that word, use conjunctions and coercive tools appropriately. Appropriately. Use conjunctions and what? Coercive tools appropriately. Okay, present relevant examples immediately after the points connected to those examples. That's another aspect of what? Of good cohesion. If you want to get a good cohesion score, that's another thing that you need to what? You need to do. Three important things. Clear paragraphing. The reader, the examiner was able to distinguish paragraph 1 of your essay from paragraph 2. The examiner was able to distinguish paragraph 2 from paragraph 3. You must be able to distinguish paragraph 3 from paragraph 4. I hope you guys are following me. So, very, very important. Now, number 3 criterion is grammar. When it comes to grammar, what are the things that we need to keep in mind? What are the things that you need to do to get a good grammar score? Now, these last two, they are the problematic areas. These are the two major areas, the two areas that result in low band score. Commonly, these two areas commonly result in low band score for many candidates. Okay? Now, what are the three important things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to grammar? Number one, use punctuations correctly. Use punctuations what? Use punctuations correctly. When we say punctuations, I'm referring to commas, comma, semicolon, and full stop. Use punctuations correctly. That's number one. Number two, use the right tenses in your sentences. Use the right what? Use the right tenses. There are times when you'll be required to use present tense. Use present tense. There are times when you'll be required to use past tense. Use past tense. Use the right tenses. Okay? Singular, or let me put it this way. Ensure that the verbs of your sentences agrees with the what? Subject. I call this thing SVA. SVA rule, subject-verb agreement. The subject of your sentence must be in agreement with the word, with the verb. Now, somebody is wondering, what does that mean? Well, I'm not going to go into that now, but what you can do is just go to your ChatGPT. Just go into ChatGPT and type, explain the meaning of subject-verb agreement. Okay? Give me, or just type inside ChatGPT. Treat yourself as an English teacher. In fact, this thing I'm telling you, let me do it for you. Let me show you what I'm saying. You guys need to learn how to use ChatGPT very well. Let me show you what I'm saying. I'm going to share my screen with you. You're going to see this thing I'm telling you to do now. You need to, you can teach, you can ask ChatGPT to teach you a lot of things. And you're going to learn a lot. I mean, of course, AI makes mistakes once in a while, but then you will still learn something, I'm telling you. Now, this is my screen here. This is my browser. So I'm going to chatgpt.com. I hope you guys are with me. Let me see if you are still with me. Let me see your message. Is anybody still with me? Are you with me? Let me see your message if you are with me. Let me know who is following me. Let me see your message in the Zoom chat. If you are with me, let me see your message. Let me know who is following me. Let me know who is following me. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. I can see your message. Thank you for that feedback. All right. Very good. Very good. Now, so I was talking about subject-verb agreement, right? So I want to show you how you can use ChatGPT to teach you a lot of things. But I'm going to focus on that issue of subject-verb agreement. So this is what you type inside ChatGPT. Assume that you are an expert, English teacher. Using examples, explain the concept of subject-verb agreement. Enter. Okay? You see, ChatGPT is going to give me so many things to learn. Can you see? Absolutely. Subject-verb agreement is a key grammar rule in English that ensures the subject of a sentence and the verb match in number. Now, look at this thing here. Singular subjects take singular verbs. Plural subjects take plural verbs. That's the introduction. Now, look at the basic rule. Singular subject, singular verb. Plural subject, plural verb. That's the rule. Now, look at the examples. ChatGPT now wants to give me examples. Singular subject plus singular verb. She walks to school every day. What is the singular subject here? She. That is the singular subject. She. That is the singular subject. Then the verb walks. A singular verb usually will have an S attached to it. She walks to school. Walks. Okay? That's example one. Look at example two. They walk to school every day. They is a plural subject, and the verb connected to it is what? Plural. There's no S there. They walk to school every day. So you see, it gives a lot of examples and special cases. So by the time you study all this, you will learn one or two things. Hope you get my point now. So that's just by the way. So that's one of the things you need to keep in mind when writing your essays. To get a good grammar score, you need to ensure what? Subject-verb agreement convention. Subject-verb agreement rules must be what? Must be complied with. Okay? Now, the fourth criterion is vocabulary. What do you mean by vocabulary? What are the three things you need to keep in mind when it comes to vocabulary? Number one is to what? Spell correctly. Okay? Spell correctly. Spelling errors will cost you a lot of marks in IELTS. So it's extremely important that you learn to spell correctly. Spell correctly. Spell correctly. Okay? After writing your essay, go through your essay and look for spelling mistakes to correct. You must spell correctly. It's extremely important. Number two is that you must use words in the right context. Okay? Don't use the wrong words. Don't use words out of context. Somebody says, what does it mean use words out of context? Well, that's beyond the scope of today's lesson. That's a lesson for another day. You go to ChatGPT again and go and type, explain the meaning of using words in context. ChatGPT will give you a brief overview of what that means. Okay? So, spell correctly, number one. Number two, use words in the right context. That's number two. Number three, paraphrase correctly. Or let's put it this way, use paraphrases and synonyms appropriately. That's another thing that will help you to get good vocabulary score. Okay? So these 4 criteria that I've given you, they're extremely important. These are the 4 criteria that I use to assess people's essays. If you write an essay for me to assess, these are the 4 criteria that I'll use to assess your essay. When IELTS examiners assess essays, these are the criteria that they use. When your essay, if you put your essay inside AI and you ask AI to assess your essay, these are the criteria that the IELTS AI will use to assess your essay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it's very, very important that you make sure that you do well with regards to these 4 criteria. Okay, now let us look at something here. I said earlier on that our writing task 2, our writing module in IELTS will involve 2 tasks. In other words, you are going to write an essay and you are going to write a report. So let me show you some examples of IELTS essay questions. So this is Cambridge IELTS 19. I'm going to show you the IELTS essay question that is in this particular book. So this is Cambridge IELTS 19 academic. So look at it here. This is writing task 1. You can see it's a line graph. This is an example. This is an example of writing task 1 for academic. For people that take IELTS academic, writing task 1. Okay? You can see you are going to write a report based on this line graph. Now look at writing task 2. This is an essay question. This is the essay question. Some people think that competition at work, at school, and in daily life is a good thing. Others believe that we should try to cooperate more rather than compete against each other. Discuss both views and give your opinion. That's the essay that you are going to write on. Okay, so that's task 2. The essay is task 2. The report is task 1. Look at Cambridge General. Let me show you the question for Cambridge General. You are going to see that Cambridge General also has an essay, but the other question is a letter. Look at it. Writing task 1 for Cambridge General. Look at it. You would like to reduce your working hours in order to study part-time. Write a letter. Can you see? Letter. Look at what they wrote for, what's it called? The academic. You are to summarize information by reporting. They didn't call this one letter. It's actually a report. Reporting the main features. So that's academic. For general, it's a letter. Task 1 is a letter for IELTS general. And then task 2 is an essay. Look at the essay here. More and more people nowadays visit well-known places to take photographs of themselves without looking at the place. Why do you think this is happening? Is this a positive or negative trend? Okay, so this is an essay question. So inside this Cambridge IELTS 19, there are 4 writing tasks. Okay, 4 task 2 essays and 4 letters. Inside the academic one, there are 4 task 2 essays and 4 task 1 reports. That's what they're going to see in Cambridge IELTS 19. That's what they're going to see in all the Cambridge IELTS series from 1 to 19. Okay, so the key to writing your essay, what are the steps? So let me go into it. So I'm going to take one of these topics. Let me take this topic here. I'm going to write an essay on this topic here. Let me write an essay on this topic here. I want to copy it out. I'm going to write an essay on this topic. You're going to see the way I'm going to write this essay. All right. So just follow closely. I'm going to show you the steps, and then you're going to see me take those steps. I'm going to use those steps to write an essay. Okay? I'm going to use those steps to write an essay. So I want you to follow closely. All right, let me share my screen and post that question there. Stop sharing. All right, let's share. All right, let's share this screen here. So this is our essay question here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so what is the first thing to do? The first thing to do is to what? Step 1, plan your essay and generate ideas. Okay? Or you can say generate ideas and plan your essay. That's step 1. Step 2, write your introduction. Step 3, write paragraph 2 and 3. Step 4, write your conclusion. Step 5, review your essay and make necessary corrections. 5 steps. Okay? Somebody says, I don't know how to write essay. The essay is scaring me. I am afraid. The first thing I will ask the person is this: can you tell me the 5 steps of writing essays? Okay? Step 1, plan your essay. So I will ask the person, did you plan your essay? Have you even planned your essay? Do you know how to plan essays? Now I'm going to show you how to plan essay. How do you plan your essay? This is how you plan your essay. What's it called? So I'm going to look at my essay question and I will ask myself, what is expected of me? That's going to help me. If I don't answer that question, there's going to be a problem when it comes to planning my essay. That'll be a problem. Okay, so look at this essay question here. Some people think that competition at work, school, and in daily life is a good thing. In other words, some people think that competition is a good thing. That's the view of some people. Other people believe that we should try to cooperate more. In other words, some people say competition is good. Other people say cooperation is better. Okay? Those are the 2 viewpoints presented in this essay question. Now, they now ask you, discuss both views and give your opinion. This kind of essay is what we call discussion essay. By the way, there are 8 different kinds of essays. I think, is it 8 or 9? 8 different kinds of essays. Let me try and give you those 8 types of essays. Quickly, let me quickly give you the 8 types of essays. Types of essays. Okay, number 1, cause and effect essay, cause and solution essay. That's an essay that requires to write about the causes of a problem and the solutions to that problem. Okay, cause and effect requires to write about the causes of a problem and the effect of that problem. Then we have advantage, disadvantage essay. This one requires to write about the advantages and disadvantages of something, or maybe of 2 things. Then we have what you call opinion essay. Then you have what you call outweigh essay. Then you have what you call discussion essay. That's what I'm about to write now. Then you have what you call double question essay. These are the 7 common types of essays that we have in IELTS. Okay, 7 common types of essays that show up in IELTS Task 2 essay writing. Any one of them can show up, any one of them. So you need to be familiar with all these 7 types of essays. Hope you get my point. Now, let's go back to our, our essay plan. So whenever you're writing a discussion essay, okay? Whenever you're writing a discussion essay, or whenever you want to start writing, before you start writing a discussion essay, let me put it that way, the first thing to do is to decide on what your position will be. What is your view? What is your position? What is your opinion? What is your opinion? Do you think, for this question now, what is my opinion? I can pick either one of 3 I can pick any one of 3 positions. Okay, so my first duty is to decide on what my position is. So what is option 1? I can decide that, okay, competition is better. That's option 1. Option 2, I can decide that cooperation is better. That's option 2. Option 3 is to stay in the middle and say both competition and cooperation are good. Both of them should be, people should engage in both. And then I will explain why I'm supporting both. Okay? But personally, I don't like staying in the middle when it comes to discussion essays. I prefer to stay on one extreme. because it makes my work neater. That's my own personal, approach. That's my own personal strategy. Okay. I just prefer to pick one of the two extremes. So in this case now, I'll just either pick competition or I will pick cooperation. Cooperation can also be referred to as collaboration. So I'm looking at this topic now, and I think I'm going to go with cooperation. Okay, I believe that cooperation is better than competition. That's my position. So your first duty is to decide what your position is. Okay, so once I know my position, I'm going to write it out. I'm planning. Step one, ladies and gentlemen. So my essay plan here is that word. I'm saying that word, cooperation is what? Cooperation is better. Cooperation is better. Okay? Cooperation is what? Cooperation is better than what? Competition. That's number one. That's what I want to, that's my position. Now, for me to pick that position, for me to write about that position in my essay, I need to come up with at least 3 reasons. 3 reasons why I think cooperation is what? Is better than competition. Okay? 3 reasons why I think what? Cooperation is better than competition. Number 1 reason why I think cooperation is better is that what? It reduces conflicts. Okay? It reduces conflict. That's number 1 thing I'm going to put. Number 2 thing I'm going to put in my essay is that what? It ensures everyone plays to their strengths. Or let me put it this way, that everyone maximizes their strengths. Okay? That everyone maximizes their what? Their strengths. That's another reason where I'm going with what? With cooperation. Okay? Number 3 is that what? It reduces wastage. It helps to minimize waste of time, waste of what? Waste of resources. Number 4 thing, I'm coming up with new ideas. See, when I say generate ideas, I'm coming up with my ideas first. It enhances creativity. Okay? Another thing, this one is connected to the issue of conflicts. Plus, it strengthens bond within teams and amongst colleagues. Within teams, family members, okay, within teams, among family members, okay, and among colleagues. Okay, so you can see I've come up with, I've generated 1, 2, 3, 4 ideas in support of my word, my position, that word, cooperation is better. Ideas. Okay, now for my discussion essay, the question says discuss both views. So that means I need to also talk about the issue of competition. Okay, I need to also talk about the issue of what? Competition. But I won't say a lot about competition because competition is not the one I want to really support. Competition is not my main gist. My main gist is what? Is cooperation. That is my main gist. So I'll just say maybe 1 point or 2 points about competition. So let me write something about competition here. Competition prevents people from being lazy. That's one thing I can think about when it comes to competition. It prevents people from being lazy. That's one major thing. Okay, so I'll just use that as my major point for competition. Now, I have my ideas ready. The next thing is to now write my introduction, ladies and gentlemen. So, what will I put in my introduction? In my introduction, when you're writing your introduction, your introduction must have 3 major qualities. There are 3 qualities of a good introduction. Number 1, your introduction must contain 2 or 3 sentences. That's number 1. How many sentences? 2 or 3 sentences. That's number 1 point. Number 2 point is that your introduction should contain a paraphrase of the question prompt. Okay, you see this part that says some people think that competition at work, school, and in daily life is a good thing. Others believe that we should try to cooperate more rather than competing against each other. That thing I just read now is what we call question prompt. I must paraphrase it in my introduction. So the first thing I will write in my essay is this question prompt. This is the first thing I'll write. But I'm going to change some words. I'm going to introduce some synonyms. That's what we call paraphrasing the question prompt. That's the second thing about your introduction. The third thing about your introduction is that there must be a clear thesis statement. So for a discussion essay now, when you're writing your thesis statement, you must clearly state your position. That is what it means when we say write a thesis for a word, for a discussion essay. Okay, so let me write my introduction now. Let me look at that essay question again and use it to write my paraphrase of the question prompt. So a number of individuals are of the view. Can you see I'm paraphrasing? Instead of saying some people, what have I written? I wrote a number of individuals. Notice I did not say many individuals. Some is not a paraphrase for many. Many is not a paraphrase for some. Please don't use those two things interchangeably. They are different. Many means many. Some means just few. Some is not as plenty as many. Okay? Some might mean maybe 15 people. Many can mean 300 people. Those two things they are far apart. Okay? So a number of individuals are of the view that competition is good. Competition. Now, there's something that, okay, let me just continue. A number of individuals are of the view that competition is good among employees, students, and individuals within the society. Okay? Within the words, within the society. Okay? Now put a full stop there. Full stop. Remember what I said, that word. Your essay should have, your introduction should have what? 2 or 3 sentences. Full stop. Always make sure you use your punctuations at the right place. Always put your punctuation, your full stop at the end of a complete thought. Some people will not put if somebody else was writing this essay, I just probably put a comma, then continue, and then the sentence become unnecessarily long. That's what we call verbose writing. You need to avoid that. So you can see that they put a full stop there in their own essay. I mean, they put a full stop in the essay question. All right. Other people, however, argue that cooperation and collaboration, okay, cooperation and collaboration yield more impactful, yield more results, both at work and in other areas of life. At work, let me remove that word both. Yield more results at work and in other areas of life. Personally, I believe that cooperation is better than competition. And this essay will present my reasons in detail. Full stop. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my introduction. How many sentences are in this introduction? Let me see who is following me so far. I want you guys to look at this, my introduction, carefully and tell me. I want you to type in the chat box. How many sentences are in this introduction? That's number 1. How many sentences are in this, my introduction. How many sentences can you see in this my introduction? I want you to type in the chat box. How many sentences are in this my introduction? How many? How many sentences can you see in my introduction? Let me know who is following me. Let me see if you guys are with me. Let me see if you guys are with me. Okay, I'm seeing some answers already. All right. Three sentences. Okay, so let's count. This is sentence one. A number of individuals of the view that competition is a good thing. So this is sentence one. Okay, let me put it in color red. Okay, sentence two. Other people, however, argue that cooperation and collaboration yield more results. I guess that's what is there. Cooperation and collaboration yield more results at work and in other areas of life. Personally, I believe that cooperation is better than competition. Can you see spelling mistake here? So I need to correct that mistake here. Competition. Competition. Personally, I believe that cooperation is better than competition, and this essay will present my reasons in detail. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my introduction. Very straightforward. That introduction has paraphrased the question prompt. That introduction contains 3 sentences, and that introduction has a clear thesis. This final sentence is what we call the thesis statement. Somebody says, what is the meaning of thesis? A thesis statement in IELTS essay, a thesis statement is a statement that presents your position. A thesis statement is a statement that gives the reader an idea of what your essay will be about. That's what we call thesis statement. Okay? So my introduction is ready. What is the next thing to do now? The next thing is to move on to step 3. So I've done step 1. I've planned my essay and I've generated ideas. I've done step 2. I've written my introduction. What is the next step? The next step is to write my paragraph 2 and my paragraph 3. Now, this is a discussion essay. My position is that collaboration is better. That position that I support must be in paragraph 3. Please take note of that. The position that you support when it comes to discussion essay, the position that you support should be in paragraph 3. Okay? It should be in what paragraph? Paragraph 3. The position that you don't support should be in paragraph 2. Okay? Now, based on what I said now, let me ask you guys a question. Let me be sure that you guys are following me. What should I write now? I'm doing step 3 now. What should I write now? Should I write about competition or I should write about collaboration? I want you to write in the type your answer inside the Zoom chat. What should I write now? Should I write about competition or collaboration? Let me see who is following me. Let me see if you guys are following me. What am I to write now based on what I said now? That the position that you support should be in paragraph 3. The position that you don't support should be in paragraph 2. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are following me. I'm very happy. I'm to write on competition. That is the position that I don't support. Okay? Write on competition. And what is my point for competition? Competition prevents people from being lazy. That's it. That's the thing I want to write now. So this sentence here, I want to expand it into 3 or 4 sentences. Okay? And that will form paragraph 2. Okay? So this is how I'm going to start. On the one hand, competition puts people on their toes and prevents them from being lazy or laid back with their work. For example, in schools, students put in their best and what's it called? Put in their best when it comes to doing their assignments and tests so that they can perform better and get higher grades than their colleagues. This competitive nature prevents them I don't want to use the word prevent again. This competitive nature, or let me say this competitive tendency, ensures that no student let me adjust that. Ensures that every student puts in let me see. Every student works hard. I don't want to say puts in again because I wrote put in here already. Can you see vocabulary now? Ensures that every student works hard, okay, to stay ahead. Can you see? I'm talking about competition. Let me read that paragraph again. So you see, as I'm writing, I am reading and I'm making corrections. That's step, where is it now? I'm doing step 5, somehow. As I'm writing, I'm reading, I'm doing correction. Now look at it. Let's read it again. On the one hand, comma, punctuation, correct punctuation. This is what we call introductory phrase. On the one hand, competition puts people on their toes and prevents them from being lazy or laid back with their work. For example, in schools, students put in their best when it comes to doing their assignments and tests so that they can perform better and get higher grades than their colleagues. That's sentence 2. Okay? This competitive tendency ensures that every student works hard to stay ahead. That's paragraph 2. You know that as it is now, this, what's it called? Paragraph is complete. A complete paragraph must have 3 components. What are the 3 components of a complete paragraph? When I say paragraph, and I'm talking about paragraph 2 and paragraph 3, what are the 3 components of a main body paragraph? Number 1 is topic sentence. Number 2 is explanation. Number 3 is what? Example. Okay, so look at my topic sentence here. This first sentence is my topic sentence. The second sentence is like an example. Okay, and then the third sentence is like a what? Like an explanation. Okay, so that's paragraph what? Paragraph 2. Now, let me move on to paragraph 3. Let me move on to paragraph 3. So in paragraph 3, what am I writing on? I'm writing on what? Collaboration. Okay, so in paragraph 1, let me remove all these things here, all these steps. Let me transfer them to the top. So I've done step 3.5. Let me underline. Remaining paragraph 3 now. Paragraph 3 is the next thing that I want to do now. So I've done paragraph 1, I've done paragraph 2. So let's do paragraph 3 now. Now, paragraph 3, we are writing about what? Collaboration. Collaboration. Now, what are my points for collaboration? Look at it here. I have 4 points for collaboration. I can decide to write all those 4 points. I can decide to pick 2 of them or 3 of them. Okay, so let me I want to copy and then I'll come and paste it and then so that I can be seeing what I'm writing. On the other hand, collaboration strengthens the bond between team members in an organization and gives them the opportunity to work together to achieve the goal of the, to achieve organizational, I don't want to use the word organization. I'm trying to think of another word. To achieve the goals of their team. Okay? Without this kind of cooperative spirit, competition, let me put it this way. Workers will do things differently in their own way, and this can slow down the progress of the firm. Okay, can you see? I've talked about what? Strengthening bonds. Okay, that's one. I've talked about what's it called? Okay, let me talk about the issue of conflicts now. Competition. Now, let me inject something here. Whenever you are writing a discussion essay, remember what they wrote at the beginning of the essay. I mean, in the essay question. Remember what they wrote in the essay question. Discuss both views, both these views. So I have discussed viewpoint 1. I've written it here. Now I'm discussing viewpoint 2. Now, somewhere inside this paragraph 3, where I'm discussing viewpoint 2, I must write a sentence that shows that this is my view. I must write something that shows the reader that, yes, now let me explain why I support position 2. Okay, let me explain. I must write something that suggests that. I must write something that presents my word, that presents my position, that shows the reader what my. I must write something that shows the reader what my position is. I hope you guys are getting my point. Let me see if you are still with me. Let me see your message if you are still with me. Who is still following me? Let me see your message if you are still with me. I want you to drop in the chat box. Yes, I am still with you. Yes, I am still with you. Let me see who is still following me. Let me know if you guys are still with me. All right. Thank you very much. Very good. I can see that. You guys are following me. All right. Okay, good one. So I hope you guys are getting my point. So these first 2 sentences I've written, they are basically views, the other viewpoint. Now I want to write a sentence that shows that this is my viewpoint. Okay? I believe that collaboration reduces the risk of unhealthy conflicts within the family and in an organization. Okay? When workers compete against each other, they tend to develop negative attitudes. And negative attitudes or unhealthy rivalry that can cause a decline in overall morale and productivity. Okay, so you see this thing here. This is what I'm saying, that what you must write something in your paragraph 3 that shows that, yes, this is my view. That something like that must show up in your discussion essay somewhere in paragraph 3. Why? The question says, give your opinion. So there are 2 places where you should do this part of give your opinion. Number one place is to do it in the word. In the introduction. Can you see that I've done it here in the introduction? The final sentence of my introduction. Then you can see that I'm doing it again in what? In the paragraph 3. I believe that collaboration reduces the risk of unhealthy conflicts within the family and in an organization. When workers compete against each other, they tend to develop negative attitudes or unhealthy rivalry that can cause a decline in overall morale and productivity. Okay? In addition, or let me say, furthermore, collaboration helps workers to maximize their strength. Okay? This is because different workers or different employees in a team will focus on the aspect of a project and put in their best efforts to make sure that that aspect turns out successfully. Okay? So let me read that again. Furthermore, collaboration helps workers to maximize their strength. Okay? This is because different employees in a team, okay, let me add something here, are strong in different areas. Okay? And with this, they can focus, and with this, each individual can focus on the aspect of the project that they can handle well. Let me put it that way. On the aspect of the project that they can handle well. Can you see that? I'm trying to describe a scenario here where, okay, everyone has a particular thing that they are good at. So when each individual in a team focuses on what they are good at, then what happens at the end of the day? All of us, we end up working in our area of strength. And that will result in an overall, high level of productivity for the team. Hope you get my point now. So I have talked about the issue of what? Reducing conflicts, strengthening bonds, maximizing strengths. That's what I just wrote now. So I've already written a lot here, so I don't need to, I think I'll just stop here and then I'll go to my conclusion. Now look at this, my paragraph 3. You see what I was saying earlier on that word? This is where my essay starts from. This is my introduction. A number of individuals have the view that competition is good among employees. Okay, that's my introduction. Now look at my paragraph 2. How many lines can you see in paragraph 2? 1, 2, 3, about 3.5 lines. You can see paragraph 2 is not long because that is not the viewpoint that I'm supporting. And that's how it should be. The viewpoint that you are not supporting should not be long. It should be very, very short. 3 sentences. Or at most 4 sentences. And if you do 4 sentences, that means your other paragraph that you are now supporting should have maybe 6 or 7 sentences. If you look at this one, now this is my third paragraph. 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, 6 lines, 7 lines. Can you see? That shows that what? Anybody that reads this knows that, okay, this person has spent more time writing about the view that he supports. Okay, so let me wrap it up with this sentence. Thus, let me wrap it up with my conclusion. To conclude, while competition may be beneficial in some situations, such as in academic settings. Its overall impact, while competition may be beneficial in some, while competition may be beneficial in some situations, such as in academic settings, collaboration is more effective in the long term because, let me cut that sentence, is more effective in the long term. This is because it helps in, what's it called now? Promoting healthy relationships, healthy interactions within organizations and between, within organizations and families. It boosts productivity and prevents unhealthy rivalry that can result in bad conflicts. Full stop. Ladies and gentlemen, I have finished writing my essay. This my essay here contains 307 words. You can see it here, 307 words. So I have finished writing my essay. The next thing I will do is that I will now read through it and make sure that there are no corrections. That's step 5. Remember step 5. Review your essay and make necessary corrections. So look at step 5 now. Let's read through it and see if there's any correction to make. A number of individuals have the view that competition is good among employees, students, and individuals within the society. Other people, however, argue that cooperation and collaboration yield more results. Other people, however, argue that cooperation and collaboration yield more results at work and in other areas of life. Personally, I believe that cooperation, let me change this one because I believe that it's showing up to us. Let me try and change it to, I am of the view that cooperation is better than competition. And this essay will present my reasons in detail. That's my introduction. It looks okay to me. Now, on the one hand, competition puts people on their toes and prevents them from being lazy or laid back with their work. Okay? For example, in schools, students put in their best when it comes to doing their assignments and tests so that they can perform better and get higher grades than their colleagues. This competitive tendency ensures that every student works hard to stay ahead. This competitive tendency ensures that every student works hard to stay ahead. Now, that's paragraph 2, presents the issue of competition. Now, paragraph 3. On the other hand, collaboration strengthens the bond between team members in an organization and gives them the opportunity to work together to achieve the goals of their team. Without this kind of cooperative spirit, workers will do things differently in their own way, and this can slow down the overall progress. Let me put that word overall. It can slow down the overall progress of the firm. I believe that collaboration reduces the risk. So now I'm presenting my opinion. The question says what? Give your own opinion. You can see it here. So now I'm giving my opinion in paragraph 3. I believe that collaboration reduces the risk of unhealthy conflicts within the family and in an organization. So let me not say an organization, let me make it plural, and in organizations. When workers compete with each other, they tend to develop negative attitudes and negative attitudes or unhealthy rivalry that can cause a decline in overall morale and productivity. Now, hold on, let me finish this up. Furthermore, collaboration helps workers to maximize their strengths. This is because different employees in a team are strong in different areas. And with this, so this is showing up twice, delete one of them. And with this, each individual can focus on the aspect of a project that they can undo well. That's paragraph 3. Okay, and then final paragraph, conclusion. To conclude, while competition may be beneficial in some situations, such as in academic settings, collaboration is more effective in the long term. This is because it helps in promoting healthy interaction within organizations and families. It boosts productivity and prevents unhealthy rivalry that can result in bad conflict. This bad conflict, I want to reduce it. That can result in I'm trying to think of another word to use instead of bad conflict. All right, there's something missing. I need to put an example. Okay. It's always good to put an example because they will say use example to support your points. That's one of the things that boosts your marks. Your example has to be relevant. Your example has to be relevant. So I need to look for an example that has to do with organizations. Okay, let me put an example here. So here I wrote that what? Without this kind of cooperatives, workers will do things differently. Okay. A recent newspaper report, let me put it this way. A recent study showed that companies where teams work in collaboration with each other achieve higher revenue and lower staff turnover than firms where competition is encouraged, than firms where competition among workers is encouraged. Than firms where competition is encouraged, among workers. So there must be an example to buttress your point. It helps to give strength to your essay. It's very, very important. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my essay. Now, there's one thing I want to add here. You can also use ChatGPT to check your essay. Now, let me do that now. So, I'm going to copy this essay now. I will go and paste it inside ChatGPT. I want you to look at what I'm about to do now, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to learn from this. So, let's go back to that ChatGPT that I showed you earlier on. So, I'm going to tell ChatGPT to act as an English tutor. Act as an English tutor. Or let me say, act as an IELTS tutor and assess, score, and suggest corrections for my essay. Okay? I want you to act. Can you see that? So I will now press enter. Listen to what ChatGPT will tell me now. So it says, I'll be happy to do that. Please go ahead and share your essay with me. Can you see that? Now look at what ChatGPT said. Can you see what I just said? I talked about task response. Remember? I talked about cohesion and coherence. Lexical resources is the same thing as vocabulary, grammatical range, and accuracy. Can you see that? Those are the things that, this guy is going to do for you. It's going to score it, and then it's going to suggest correction. So, okay, so let me paste my essay here. So this is my essay that I've posted now. I've posted my essay now. I'm trying to inject all those gaps after one paragraph. At the end of paragraph 1, skip a line before you start paragraph 2. At the end of paragraph 2, skip a line before you start paragraph 3. At the end of paragraph 3, skip a line before you start paragraph 4. That's how you demonstrate what? Clear paragraphing. Very, very important. Very, very important. So I've posted my essay here now. So I'll press enter. So let's see what ChatGPT will tell me about this, my essay. Let me see the score that ChatGPT will give me. Okay, thank you. As an IELTS tutor, I will now assess it based on blah, blah, blah. Okay, now look at it. Task response, 7.5. Can you see I tried a little bit? Clear position throughout. Well developed. Some points could be better supported with deeper analysis. ChatGPT is telling me I should support with deep analysis. I don't get time, Mohammed. Coherence and cohesion, 7.0. Lexical resource, good range of vocabulary. Minor repetition, okay? So it's telling me that generally accurate, but a few grammar errors, e.g. subject-verb agreement. Now, let us go and look at the correction. That is is the correction that is very important here, ladies and gentlemen. The corrections are very, very important. Now, look at it here. Let's look at all the correction and suggestions that ChatGPT gives us. A number of individuals are of the view that, now look at what it says. Some people believe that, remember the essay question, that's what they wrote in the essay question. So I'm going to ignore this one because I don't want to repeat what they wrote in the essay question. So this number one suggestion is not going to work. Forget it. ChatGPT should go and sit down somewhere. Now look at the next one. And this essay will present my reasons in detail. Look at a more concise thesis. And I will explain why in this essay. This thing that he wrote here, I don't like it. I still prefer the one I wrote. Okay, now let's look at this one here. In an organization, can you see spelling error? There's no I in my own. Can you see ChatGPT is telling me corrections? Farms where competition where WHERE. Can you see another spelling error? That's spelling error too. Valid, I agree. I agree with all those spelling errors. Look at the next one. Help workers to maximize. Okay, it says we should remove TO. Help workers maximize their strength. Very true. Very true. That's right. Very true. Let's look at the next one. On the other hand, collaboration strengthens. Okay, so look at how he starts it. Paragraph 3. Look at how he starts paragraph 3. He says that I should write that while competition has its merits, collaboration strengthens dash, dash, dash. Very true. Very, very valid. I agree with that. That's true. Then it now says what? Furthermore, collaboration helps workers to maximize their strengths. Consider making this its own paragraph for better emphasis. No, I don't want. I don't want my essay to exceed 4 paragraphs. Thank you. Then look at the next one. A recent study showed that, he said, good use of evidence. He said I should name a study, even if hypothetically. A 2021 McKinsey report showed that. So he said I should mention this person's name. ChatGPT is giving me nice ideas. Very good one. Now, collaboration reduces the risk of unhealthy conflict. Consider adding a short example, a teamwork scenario or family example to develop this idea more. So this is what it calls depth of development. So you see, by the time you go through all the corrections that it gives you, you will now go back to that your essay and make all those corrections. That's what will help you to what? To improve your essay writing skills. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'll wrap it up on that note. I hope you have learned something from this lesson. You have seen how to write good IELTS essays. I showed you the steps. What's step 1 again? Step 1 is to do what? Is to plan your essay. That's step 1. Plan your essay and generate ideas. And then what is step 2? Write your essay introduction. After writing your introduction, what should you do? Write paragraphs 2 and 3, then write your conclusion, and then what happens? Review your essay and make necessary correction. Reviewing your essay can involve typing it inside a good AI like ChatGPT and telling it to give you some feedback. Okay? And then you can also send your AI send your essay to me to assess. You understand? So these are things that will help. But I usually advise it's better to first of all give your essay to AI to assess before you send it to me, so that you will learn one or two things first from the AI, and then by the time I do my correction, you will also learn and understand better. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up on that note. I hope you have learned something from this lesson. Thank you very much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day.